look at this, dude. End migrant crime. Now, what's funny about this, though, guys, is not too long ago, Trump on Truth Social, the migrant crime epidemic was his big post. What it was is he went through Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and he was highlighting all of the migrant crime epidemic, as he called it, in those 5 states. And what it was is over the course of 2 years, it was 20 crimes in 5 states. That was the epidemic. That's 2 crimes a year in each fucking state, bro. It was like nothing. I mean, it's something because obviously they're victims of crime. I don't want to diminish the fact that those people were victims of the crimes, but 20 crimes by immigrants is not an epidemic. It's not a large percentage of criminal activity compared to, you know, say the 45,000 people that die of gunfire every year. 45,000 people die of gunfire, and they don't want to pass any gun laws. They want to deport all brown people because of 20 crimes. But in that same 2-year period, 90,000 people will die of gunfire, and they don't want to do shit about guns. So obviously, the crime or the damage from crime is not the problem. The problem is they don't like brown people. If they were worried about people suffering as crime victims, they'd be worried about the 90,000 people dying of gunfire. Now, back to my point, is Kamala Harris is uniquely qualified to handle what's going on at the border, working to prosecute and prevent human and gun and drug traffickers from getting shit into America. Donald Trump has no experience with this. He's never prosecuted anyone. In fact, he himself has a whole bunch of criminal charges. Donald Trump's only angle is that he doesn't like people of color. It's clear they made up lies about Haitian immigrants that are legal in Ohio. He's making up lies about migrant crime waves that don't exist. He wants to deport everybody who's brown because Trump is a white supremacist bitch. That's why end wokeness, Jack Posobiec, white boy summer, you see all this Charlie Kirk, TP USA, all those right-wing racists are in Trump's corner. That's all he has, is Trump just has racism and fear. He doesn't want to actually fix the broken immigration system. He just wants to get rid of people of color. And we're not going to let him do that because we are a nation of immigrants. We're a nation of immigrants.
And in one of the most heinous crimes ever committed by any administration in American history, that's what she did by allowing these millions of people, millions and millions of people, to come through our border and make our civilization very unsafe.
Civilization. Oh.
Very, very unsafe. It's a heritage.
Our civilization is Did he say it's our heritage? No, Trumpy. Hold on.
To come through our border and make our civilization very unsafe. It's a civilization. Very, very unsafe. It's a heritage.
Our heritage.
Border czar Harris went to the...
Dude, our heritage. All right, she's not the border czar. That's another lie. He's saying the quiet part out loud. Our heritage. It's about whiteness for these guys.
At the very site where she released so much suffering, misery, and death. There's no greater act of disloyalty than to extinguish the sovereignty of...
Suffering, misery, and death. Dude, what a message this guy has, bro. It's all cheery. Suffering, misery, and death.
Your own nation.
What a fucking
right
idiot.
Through your border. No matter what lies she tells, Kamala Harris can never be forgiven.
Hamster.
For her erasing...
Can never be forgiven.
Our border. And she must never be allowed to become president of the United States.
Dude, she's going to be better on the border than Trump. Like night and day, dude. Trump, he doesn't do. All he does as president, we had a term of Trump. What did Trump do during his presidency? He sat on the toilet and rage tweeted. That was all he did. He golfed and he rage tweeted and he did little else. What is he talking about?
That Republican would be impeached and removed from office. And rightfully so, for high crimes and misdemeanors.
Oh,
that would be high crimes and misdemeanors. Think of it.
Dude, again, we don't have any crimes. What is he saying? He's saying there's a whole bunch of murderers here that haven't committed any murder? Is that what he's saying?
The child predators
Oh, God.
and the traffickers in women. In women, mostly women.
Mostly
Joe Biden
women.
became mentally impaired. Kamala was born that way.
Dude, oh, you see that? Joe Biden became mentally impaired. Kamala. Dude, it really bothers me that he won't can say her name right. It really does. Like, it's so childish, but he says she was born that way. Like, now he's like so degrading. And look at that, the people that are cheering. He's saying that this really powerful, accomplished, educated black woman who's like had a career for the ages, and he's trashing on her, and they're cheering on that instead of him celebrating a powerful black woman and her accomplishments. He's degrading her from jealousy and insecurity.
And if you think about it, only a mentally disabled person could have allowed this to happen to our country. Anybody would know this. But she's so radical, she even wants to legalize fentanyl right away.
This is batshit. That's a good way of putting it. Like, what is he even talking about?
We got 63 million votes, which is what we got in 2016. We got millions, millions, and millions more votes, more than anybody's ever gotten. More votes.
Now he's still talking about the votes in 2020. Think about that. He's just talking about, oh, I got millions and millions and millions of votes, but I didn't win. He's basically crying about not winning the election, right? Here, 4 years later, he's running for office, and he's still crying about his last loss.
More votes than any sitting president has ever gotten.
Who cares? You got the second number of votes.
A little bit. No. We got to make sure there's no cheating, and we're working hard on that. We got more lawyers.
Implying
we got more
that there's
people
cheating.
watching.
Of course.
And I told him.
Because if he loses, it has to be cheating.
We're going to prosecute.
Dude, he is a sore loser. He's a fucking bro. He is, dude. Trump is. He is. He is such a fucking weakling, dude. He is such a fucking weakling. And so are the people who follow him, right? He's such a fucking weakling.
But we're going to prosecute people. So
yeah, Hillary had more votes than him. And he's never won the popular vote, bro. He's an all-time loser, dude. Even when he beat Hillary, he lost.
We can't.
What a loser.
These are the worst. These are people that have been in jail for many years. These are people that killed many people. They took them out of their jails. You know, in
dude, what is he talking about?
Almost empty. All over the world. You know, this isn't just South America. The Congo, their jails are almost empty. The Congo in Africa.
Dude.
They took them out.
You hear that? The Congo, their jails are almost empty. Just lie after lie after lie after lie after lie, bro. Like, what is he even fucking talking about? It's so wild, dude, that he is standing up there just lying. Like, no truth whatsoever, bro.
They're bringing them into our country at levels never seen before. And your law enforcement over here had, you know, you just had a problem here in this beautiful place we'll talk about. But what they're doing to us, and I saw that. It's also the fact that they're taking all of our black population's jobs and our Hispanic population's jobs. You haven't seen the real job numbers yet. And I said this also 2 years ago. I said, these people that are coming across the border illegally by the millions are taking the jobs of the black population of America and the Hispanic.
See, again, that is so racist to say that. It is so incredibly racist to imply that there's a job for black people or there's a job for Hispanic people. Hispanic people, black people, whatever, Asian people, white people, there's jobs. There's no job for a particular race. Dude, that is so incredibly racist. Yeah, I tell you, there's a black job that's opening up on November 5th, bro. Right? Dude, Trumpy's trying to get a black job. Sorry, buddy. That one's going to Kamala Harris there, nuts.
And you don't know who you're hiring. Our country is being destroyed. This is the worst president and the worst vice president in history. And you got to get out and vote.
I know, yeah. It's so bad.
Isn't this a wonderful and inspiring speech? I got people sitting in the front.
Dude, a wonderful and inspiring speech, isn't it? I mean, is there anybody really who watches this and is inspired? Like, really? Like, no. There's no way you watch him talk for 20 minutes straight about murder and you know, racist diatribes about jobs and you know, getting all the brown people out of America and calling a brilliant woman, an incredibly successful black woman who's at the pinnacle of her career and an inspiration for, you know, millions of black people in America, young black women and young women. And he just denigrates her, won't even say her name right, won't even acknowledge how brilliant and talented she is. He just will say that she's, you know, got a mental problem and shit. Like, dude, nobody would be inspired by this unless you're a mean, degenerate, like dysfunctional, trashy ass person.
Going to be out there jumping up and down, make America great again. We're going to do that. Don't worry. This is a dark speech.
It is a dark speech, bro.
You know, I took a lot of...
He's a dark individual. Dude, it's so weird because I know that there are people who watch this and they get like jazzed by watching it, but like, doesn't that make you wonder what's wrong with those people? Do you get that vibe? Like, that's what I think about when I think about what kind of a person watches this stream of consciousness, negative, bleak, you know, crime, murder, hate. She's dumb, can't acknowledge anybody's goodness. Like, even if you're running against Kamala Harris and you disagree with her policy, to acknowledge that she's a brilliant, powerful woman who has succeeded in ways that an incredible inspiration to women and women of color everywhere. And she's a huge force for change in the future of people being able to see her and see representation and be like, wow, you know, there's black women all over America who are seeing her thinking they can be president too. And that's huge and revolutionary. Like, she's a revolutionary woman. You can hate her policy and want to beat her in the election, but to call her like low IQ, he said that she's mentally damaged, like that she was mentally damaged from birth, like all this really nasty, completely untrue shit. Like, he can't even acknowledge the reality of who she is. He has no respect whatsoever, right? He's just such a fucking degenerate who looks at that and is like, yeah, this guy is a total loser, right? No respect, unqualified, Nepo baby. Only thing he has, he's never had anything in life from his real hard work. It's all just like a Nepo baby and daddy's money while simultaneously cheating on his wife, engaging in behavior that just is disrespectful to his wives and his kids and his employees and everybody. But some people look at that and are like, yeah, like they look at this guy and you know what makes a person look at this guy? Like, you have to really take stock of yourself and think, why are you celebrating this horrible man? Why? Like, what are you getting out of that? Are you horrible too?
I rip babies out
of Are you horrible too? Or are you filled with rage?
She's a liar. Now the fake news would say, oh, he's such a mean person. I'm not mean.
We don't think you're mean. We think you're, well, yeah, you are mean, and you're a degenerate, and you're a crook, and you're a sexual abuser, and you're dumb as Donnie. You are so stupid, and you look like a clown wearing your little Uncle Sam red, white, and blue stupid-ass, poorly fitting suit with your dumb-ass hair and your bronzer and your daddy's $400 million gift card that allows you to be completely incompetent and useless and never work a day in your life and still have access to money and power. So yeah, that's it. You're dumb as and incompetent, but you know, maybe a little mean, but maybe you're not even mean. Maybe the meanness is just part of you being dumb as Maybe it just stems from your rampant insecurity.
I'm a good person. I want to take care of, we got to take care of people.
Yeah, you don't want to take care of people. When you were in office the first time, let's look at that. When you were in office the first time, Donnie, you gave tax breaks to the wealthiest people around. You tried to destroy health care, taking away the pre-existing conditions protections of Obamacare. You tried to get rid of people's health care during the pandemic. You wanted to cut anything that benefited people. You've never been a proponent of like free school lunches or wanting to expand access to health care or wanting to close the wealth gap. You haven't tried to take care of people at all, bro. What are you talking
about?
Built
this over 250 years. We got to take care of our country. Our country's being destroyed by these people. And you don't even know why. Are they stupid? Are they evil? Do they want us to be destroyed? It's so obvious that it can't work. It can't work. I mean, go and take a look at Springfield. Go and take a look. And the governor's a Republican. He's a nice man.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with Springfield, bro.
I helped him very much.
They want you to fucking stay away from Springfield.
But he's taking an attitude like, oh, isn't it wonderful? Look, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get these people back where they came from. You have no choice. You're going to lose your culture. You're going to lose your country. You're going to have crime.
There you go. You're going to lose your culture. You're going to lose your country if immigrants come in. Now, that's actually a rather poignant moment of honesty there. What culture is he talking about? What, you know what I'm saying? Like, what culture? Because America is founded completely on immigrants, right? English, Irish, Polish, Haitian, right? Japanese, Chinese, you know, Italian, every nationality. There's, you know, Jordanian, Iranian, Iraqi. They're from all over America founded. People from everywhere. We come here. India, right? All over. But right there, though, he kind of like said a lot. He's talking to these people in this room, in this white town of Prairie du Chien. Like, what are the demographics of Prairie du Chien? Here, let's look at it. Population 5,000, 90% white, 4% black, 2.5% Hispanic or Latino. Okay, so 90% white.
You got to do what you got to do. You got to get these people back where they came from. You have no choice. You're going to lose your culture. You're going to lose your country.
You're going to lose your culture. You're going to lose your country. But what culture is he talking about? He's talking about white. He's a white supremacist. This is white supremacy. I mean, we know this because he's in a town that's 90% white, and he's now been railing for 50 minutes solid about anti-brown, anti-black. He's talking about Springfield, Ohio, Haitians. That means black people. Anti-black, anti-Venezuelan, anti-Hispanic. He hasn't mentioned anything about, you know, immigrants from Canada or Sweden or what have you. It's just straight up white supremacy.
You're going to have crime, the likes of which nobody has ever seen before. Now, I'm speaking from common sense.
No, you're not. You're speaking from
really become the party of
white supremacy.
We need common sense.
That's not common sense. That's white supremacy. And the Republican Party with MAGA has become the new party of white supremacy. We can go look at their white boy summer hats that they were passing out at the TPUSA event. We know it. That's what this is.
I mean, we're not going to have men playing in women's sports. Things, we want to have a border.
Again, now he jumps right to the transphobia. There's no men playing in women's sports. There are trans women and trans men who want to be able to play sports, and we want to figure out sports so they can compete. But men are not competing in women's sports.
We want to have a border.
Right?
We want to have good.
You see how he just goes right from the white supremacy into transphobia? Right into it. Like, let's go right there. There was no talk about trans people this whole 50 minutes. He's 50 minutes into his tirade about anti-non-white people, and then he just throws a little transphobia in there.
Bro,
it's like the thing is so predictable. It's the same shtick, bro. But again, it's white supremacy. That's what it is. I mean, just like his dad, who is associated with the KKK, just like his, refusing to rent to people of color and getting fined by the Department of Justice twice, the 70s and 80s, just like the creation of the birther lie about the first black president, just like a black woman who's about to be president that he's calling low IQ and saying she's got some mental dysfunction because he can't acknowledge a black woman being competent and powerful and successful, because it's just white supremacy upon white supremacy upon white supremacy delivered to a 90% white town that is spreading fears about immigration and brown people and danger. They're murdering in third world nation. He's saying that this country that's having massive economic success, best recovery from the pandemic, obviously America is not even close to being a third world nation. But to him, any influx of people of color, what does third world nation even mean to Donald Trump? It means nations that have people of color, right? Dude, and the stock market just keeps hitting record high after record high. Like all of Joe Biden's presidency has been a ginormous record high followed by more record highs. It's like 32 record highs or something under Biden and Harris. I mean, dude, it's so blatant, bro. It's so blatant, dude. It's crazy.